and welcome to the AV Exchange presented by Midwich. I am your host, Joe Dunbar. It's Thursday, May 15th. Oh my gosh, it's flying. Y'all, I'm in Seattle right now. You can probably tell this is not my normal setup. I've been visiting Microsoft all week for their Converge Communications Boot Camp. We've done a bunch of great stuff. It was awesome to get a peek under the hood and see the roadmap a little bit and visit with them. And we even got to go see the Hive and got into talking about things with AVer there, which was a great segue because they're big fans of the solutions. We've got the team from AVer in the house, which, you know, I'm always stoked and excited about. We've got a good crew. I know we're going to get into a couple of things, so let's hit the agenda real. We've got the team from AVer here. Like I said, we're going to do an InfoComm sneak peek kind of setup. When James and I were talking about, you know, what they wanted to do and what kind of stories we wanted to discuss, I really leaned into, hey, man, not everybody gets to fly out and go visit the InfoComm show every year. So let's go ahead and give the people at home a little peek at what's coming. And for the folks who aren't going to be able to be there, they can get a taste of what's going to be there. And I'm sure we'll be doing videos from the floor so you can kind of feel like you're there. We'll do our best to bring it to you. We're going to look at a couple products, including some new stuff, which again, I'm very excited about. And I told James, we got a demo. Anytime there's an opportunity for a demo, I'm a fan of a demo. It's just great to see live and it's fun to see. You know, my favorite thing is seeing how the manufacturers themselves interact with the solutions and the product. You just can learn so much from seeing them work with the stuff. So we're going to do some live demos and get a booth preview. You guys know the deal. We got to do some kind of housekeeping agenda items. So for any of the new folks here, please use the Q&A for the questions. It allows me to keep things neat, tidy, and organized so we can get the questions answered and make sure we address them. If you put them in the chat, there's a fair chance I may miss it or maybe not get it into the queue or whatever the case may be. The conversation can carry on and all of a sudden it falls behind us. So Q&A for questions, chat for general discussion. If you're familiar with AVer, obviously we would love to hear about it. Good experiences, you know, medium experiences. If you've had a not great experience, let us know. That's all right. We can get you some help and maybe make sure that your next experience is better. But I'm guessing there's not a lot of those out there. As an AVer user myself, I just know that it's usually a pretty good time. We're going to do an awareness poll, which I'm going to go launch real quick right now. We're really just kind of looking to know who we're talking with. We want to go ahead and speak your language, not over you or under you. We would like to kind of meet y'all where we are. So getting an idea of the audience and who we're dealing with really kind of helps us steer the conversation. So if you can participate in that, let us know how familiar you are with AVer and just where you are kind of in the channel. Those are two quick questions that will help us kind of steer the conversation. And if you can stick around to the end, we appreciate your time and want to show a bit of gratitude. We do a gift card giveaway. I have a random wheel generator, still working on my drum roll sound effect, but I swear one of these days it's going to be coming. It's been a busy couple weeks, so don't blame us. With that, you know, I think we're going to go ahead and bring in the crew from AVer. We've got a big team. I want to welcome everybody, say thanks so much for joining us and hopping in. I think we should just start by getting some introductions done so we can kind of know who we're talking to. James, if we can start with you, give a little introduction about yourself, where you're based and what you do with AVer.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Joe, and welcome everybody to the AV Exchange. I'm James Salter. I'm SVP of Marketing, and I'm also based in the Seattle area. And so my responsibilities are all things marketing for AVer, including working with our channel. So I'm really excited to be here today. Thank you.
I love it. Appreciate it. James, we got Carl next in line.
Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Carl Harvell. I am the Director of Product for AVer in the US for the video conferencing division. So based in the San Francisco Bay Area. And looking forward to showing you guys some cool stuff.
I can't wait. Carl, I'll be in the Bay next week, man. I don't know what my schedule looks like. I might have to hit you up. Carl he's already blocked my email a long time ago because I hit up Carl for stuff all the time. Great resource to have. Appreciate you being here. Katie, if you can introduce yourself, please.
Hi there, everybody. My name is Katie Sullivan. I am the Senior Product Manager for both K-12 and Pro AV. I am based out of Houston, Texas, RIP to the Rockets, no longer in the playoffs. And I'm really excited to share with you some of the new products we're going to be presenting at InfoComm.
I can't wait. Thanks, Katie, so much. Sorry about your Rockets. My Timberwolves
always happens.
Dismissed the Warriors last night. So Minnesota Pro Sports is ride, so I totally get it. I know how it goes, and we'll probably be joining you shortly. I hope not. Suzanne, if you could intro yourself and let us know where you're calling from.
Great. Thanks, Joe. Welcome, everyone. Couldn't be happier to meet with you all today and give you a sneak peek about what we're going to be talking about and showing at InfoComm. For a point of introduction, as I said, my name is Suzanne Thomas. I'm the VP of Sales. I focus primarily on our video conferencing line, so that would be our USB cameras, video bars, and our Pro AV line, which is our PTZ and tracking cameras. You're going to see some great things today, so I hope you enjoy it. And I am based in Fort Myers, Florida.
I love it. It's sunny all the time, Suzanne.
Sunny all the time.
I love it. That's the one thing we definitely are on the same page on. The more sunshine, the better. Appreciate you all joining us. James, I think we're going to kick it off to you to get started, and I'll interject with some questions. Folks, please drop them in the chat. I will, or in the Q&A. See, look at me doing that. I will add real quick before I hand it over to you, James, for the audience. Relevant questions will get you an extra entry into the random wheel generator for the gift card drawing at the end. So I encourage you to bring relevant questions. Don't try and trick us with a bunch of, taking one question and breaking it into 10 questions or something. I'm not going to give you any credit for that, but certainly we want to encourage that. So James, I'll let you kick it off, man, and I'll throw questions in as they come.
Sounds great, Joe. Well, again, welcome everybody to our presentation. I think we got a little bit of everything here for you. We had a little bit of a product demo, but we get super excited about InfoComm. It's our biggest show of the year for us, probably for you guys as well. So we're going to go through, I'm not going to kill you with PowerPoint. We have some slides, but we have some demo as well. We've already done our intros. I'm going to go over our theme and our location. We'll go a little bit over our booth and our solutions preview. We'll do a little product demo and some overviews, and then we'll obviously have a wrap up with questions. So let's get going on this. So again, we got the team here. I just thought I'll put down our titles as well as our emails, and so you guys can have this. You can reach us. AVer's pretty simple. It's first name dot last name at AVer.com. So you can always kind of find somebody from AVer when you need them. But this is us here. The theme. Marketing always likes to come up with a theme, so I got to take a nod to Suzanne and Alice, who helped kind of come up with this year's theme. I think it's really cool. Last year, if you went by our booth in Vegas, we had a gambling kind of theme, betting on AVer. We've got a lot of magic in our AI technology. And of course, we're near the Magic Kingdom in Florida. We thought, let's do something that's magic with our collaboration. So it's not just a cute graphic. If you come by our booth, if you're lucky to go to InfoComm, you might find a fortune teller there in our booth. So I'm not going to give away too much more, but you'll have a fun time at our booth. InfoComm is actually kind of cool when it's at Florida because it's in one big hall. I like the Vegas location, but you'll notice if you go to the Florida one, it's in one big hall in the County Convention Center. So we're here in booth 3181. The entrance is right down here on the bottom right corner. So I think there's not a really bad location in this hall. We're with all of our partners and some of our competitors here in this area here. But yeah, please stop by. If you're not going to be at InfoComm, you want to pay much more attention. But if you are going to be there, hopefully you can book a meeting with us and stop by and maybe get a product demo in person and maybe your fortune told. So you can actually hear also, we're giving away exhibit passes too. So if you got other people, if you guys have got your own, great. If you want to pass this on to other friends, we can register them too here with our code. Okay. Well, we're doing something a little bit different this year. So we will definitely have a very similar booth than last year. If you guys remember our booth, we have a beautiful booth with a main conference room and a number of different kiosks. We've got similar setup, but our story that we're telling with our kiosks is a bit different this year. So we're going through a solutions and experiences kind of setup. So the first one's going to have to do with bring your own meeting experience. And we have a new product. It's a kit called the Hub 30. And there's also another one, the Hub 35. And Katie will get into that a little bit later on. What we're trying to do is to help people unlock their rooms with just one USB-C cable. You package the hub kit with switchers, with our controller, our camera, and an audio, and you basically have your own meeting kind of in a box. That's kind of the one demo we're going to do. The next one's going to be our Zoom Rooms experience. And so those of you that have been following AVer and know our latest and greatest products, we have all of our products pretty much Zoom Rooms certified. Same thing with Teams. These particular products are all Zoom Rooms certified. So you have the new video bar, the 370A. Carl's actually going to be demoing with some of that a little bit later on. Our CP10 G2 controller and a Cam Series product as well. So that'll be kind of showing that seamless Zoom rooms experience, all with our AI powered video bar, the VB370A. So that'll be another thing to see at our booth. Then we've got something in our conference room. We did this a bit last year, but I think we're going to do it bigger and better this year. We want to show that multicam experience. I hope you guys are all familiar with the MT300N. It's basically our matrix tracking box. It's a camera switcher for voice tracking. We can combine this with different AVer cameras, whether it's our Cam series. There's a couple there. There's all of our TR cameras and PDZ cameras. We're going to have some of those there. A phone 700, that's our expandable speakerphone system. And we can also have outside third-party microphones like Shure, and also our Lenovo ThinkSmart mini rooms controller. So those are the things that we're going to do to try and bring a really nice multi-camera experience for you in the meeting room. There's two more areas here that have to do with collaboration. We've got a unified software station where we have a number of, you don't think of AVer necessarily as a software company. We definitely are video with now emerging audio and other accessories, but we have a number of different software solutions that help either managing your room, managing your devices, or even managing content with cloud management. So we're going to demonstrate that as well, and you can get more information there. You have to go to our booth at InfoComm to see that. And then we also have, I think probably our most exciting thing is we have a new AVer broadcast quality camera that Katie's going to show you a little bit more about it in her slides. That's the TR615. As it shows here, it's got a panoramic lens as well as the PDZ camera lens. This is broadcast quality, so this is something very new and exciting for AVer. So those of you that sell into the broadcast space, AVer actually will have a camera for that vertical. So we're really excited about that one. And finally, we will have our connected health products there as well. We're going to have our MD330 UI. That's a detachable head, medical grade PDZ camera. And we're actually going to have that on a medical cart this year. So where it's actually used in its natural environment in a patient room on a medical cart to demonstrate how this thing can help with telehealth and patient monitoring. So I'm hopeful that you guys can actually come and see this for yourself. We're going to give you a sneak peek and a taste of some of these things. And I'm going to be passing this on to Carl first. So Carl's going to do his Zoom room experience demo, and then Katie's going to go through a couple of the other experiences right after Carl. So Carl, my man, you have the floor to do your demo in the Zoom room.
All right. Thanks, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and start screen sharing here. Give me 1 second to kind of get this set up really fast here.
Go ahead, Carl. James told us he was going to tell one story and he came up with 6 stories. So there is way more packed in there, James, than I was expecting. I love it. Anybody who's been around and knows the MT300 or knows me, I talk about the MT300 a lot. It's not the only product AVer has by any stretch, so I'm excited to see all these. But James, you called it out. I have to shout it out. If you haven't seen it yet, hit us up and let us help you check it out. It's one of the best solutions on the market right now. Thanks, Carl. Go ahead.
All right, no worries. James, if you could do me a favor and stop sharing, I'm going to go ahead and kind of share off what we're going to kind of demonstrate for you guys, which is our new VB370A. And this is kind of a new beast for us that we just kind of, hold on here, let me make sure the screen share is going. There we
go. Carl, you let me know too if we need a different camera shot or anything with the demo, because I want to be true to what you're, I want to keep it right with what you're speaking to, but I'll let you take it away, my friend.
All right, no worries, no worries. So we did come out with this about a month and a half ago. We came out with a new all-in-one Android bar that was kind of based off of our VB350. If you're familiar with our VB350, it looks exactly like the VB370A, in which it is a video bar that has a dual lens configuration. So if you look at what we have here, we have a dual lens of a 120-degree field of view and also a 4 times or 18 times total zoom optical lens, kind of working in tandem with each other. So if you could put on the first stream that we have for this video bar, one thing you'll notice is that it has a little bit of a wider shot of the conference room. If I zoom out all the way, one thing you'll notice is that this has a really wide field of view. I mean, this video bar is designed to work within small to large conference rooms. And so if I actually select one of the presets for this one thing you'll notice is that it's going to zoom in, and you'll see at one point it's going to stitch to that other lens. The great thing about that is that with that 18 times total zoom, you can get into about 50 feet away with no problem at all. And with this video bar, it does have a mechanical pan tilt zoom. So going left to right, moving back and forth, no problem at all, because it does have a really wide range. Now, cool thing about it is that, if it zooms in really far, you can zoom it out back. But the great thing about it is that it does have not only 14 microphones built within it, so you can enable things like speaker focus. So right now, as I start talking, it's going to triangulate on my voice. And then eventually what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and frame me up altogether. Now, this video bar has been designed out with multiple SoCs, or it has, I guess you could say, a lot of processing power and a lot of room for growth. So it has not only the latest version of Android built within it, but what we did is we enabled it so you could actually go into like a BYOD mode. So hold on here. Let me actually change up the camera mode really fast here.
That's right, Carl. We got a couple questions start rolling in. One of them pretty relevant to what you're talking about. Brian wants to know how far away Brian asked how far away the table is from the video bar. I would also be curious as to like how far away you are sitting from the video bar specifically, because you're kind of at the end of that table, right?
So right now I'm about, let me see how many tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right now I'm about 12 feet away altogether. And that table is about 3 feet away from the video bar. And
okay, so the table runs close to the kind of the front of the head of the room there.
It does. And if you saw that that first view that I had, being able to, actually, hold on here, let me go back out with the manual. So you can see that getting actually that table really close with a tight shot and people at the edges there is definitely doable. And that's one of the great features of this video bar. So it has been designed out to work with small conference rooms up to large conference rooms. The thing is, the video bar is kind of big, so I wouldn't put it in a huddle room. But, sitting in those conference rooms that fit about 4 people, no problem at all. If you look at the content there, and this is one of the main things I kind of wanted to show off, is that it does have dual HDMI out ports, so you could have a dual monitor configuration. It does have an HDMI import for desktop sharing or being able to share your laptop image. But then it has a Type-C connection for a BYOD mode. And so we do have an optional controller to go with it. This is our CP10 controller that we're making, that we made with it. And so that CP10 controller has been designed out for Zoom room kind of configurations. This device or appliance right now is only running with Zoom. We're working with Microsoft to get it, adopted to MDEP. That's on our roadmap. But as it going out the gates right now, we kind of teamed up with Zoom on it. And so it comes with Zoom rooms preloaded. You could, in Zoom rooms, once it detects that a PC is connected up for BYOD mode, it will pretty much make use of the video bar, and using our controller, it'll launch our own interface to be able to have camera controls for BYOD mode. And so because we have a secondary SoC in it, you'll still be able to get the AI features for not only the smart gallery feature, voice tracking, automatic framing, and all those good things. Now, the great thing about this video bar is that it does work with our cameras. So you could plug in a Cam 550 with it directly into the side for the USB connection, and then be able to get a multi-camera view. So let's just say that we wanted to keep this view out for, if we wanted to keep the view out as far as, for the wide shot, and then if you guys could put up that secondary view for the Cam 550, that's what I have up just to get a different angle. So if you guys had somebody presenting on a whiteboard, or if you wanted to get an audio shot, it does work with multi-stream. And so these are 2 separate streams coming in with a video bar and a Cam 550, and you'll be able to get up to 2 cameras altogether for that. So you should be able to get 3 streams altogether.
Hey, Carl, I got a slew of questions rolling in, man. And
Awesome.
I don't want to interrupt your flow too much, but it's what we got to do. We're here for the questions. We want to make sure everybody gets answers. So honestly, I got one for myself right now, and I'm just looking for some clarification. You mentioned Zoom certified right now. I literally, like I said, I was just at Microsoft. We know they're a giant, and it just takes a minute for the wheels to turn there. Totally understand that. We're looking forward. Yeah, right. For the secondary stream though, so this is a multi-stream within your existing stream. There's no additional call in or anything like that. You enabled the multi-stream and that brought in the secondary camera in a second window.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And so that's why you're having to pump that and move it over as it's a different participant.
Yeah, I guess we should clarify that. I mean, I think most of the folks probably, hopefully, are familiar with Zoom's multi-stream functionality. But literally, right now in the Zoom call that we're using to host this discussion, Carl has called in once, but has a couple of different cameras on the stream on the screen going right now, just because of our production aspect, is why you're not seeing them all at the moment. But I wanted to clarify that those are out there. I got a couple other questions too. Aaron had a great one for us. Aaron wanted to know how the camera behaves really when you have two people having a back and forth, a debate, a discussion. From a framing standpoint, what does that look like? Because that is a very real world situation where some bars in the past have struggled a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, it really depends on what mode it's in. So if you're in BYOD mode, let's just say that you plug in, you launch up a Teams call on the desktop app or something of that nature. AVer's version of voice tracking comes with a conversation mode. And so if somebody is talking, they're right here, we're going back and forth, the camera's going to frame both of us and, exclude everybody else. Now, we have another version called voice framing, in which it does more of an electronic pan, tilt, zoom, cropping of people while they're doing the whole voice tracking. And so it will crop everybody else, put me in it, and if somebody else was talking, it'll put them in a secondary view like the multi-focus. Now with Zoom's version of this, for the regular Zoom room portion of it, it does do the electronic pan tilt cropping. And so I believe if two people are talking at the same time, depending on how high you have the sensitivity level for the conversations, it will either put them side by side or picture in picture in the other one.
Got it.
Something I got to test a little bit more on, because I think they've been changing the view a bit.
Well, to your point, man, I think, let's not forget that some of this stuff is hardware dependent, hardware features that are baked into the product that are specific maybe to AVer. The naming conventions may be specific. The behavior may be specific. And when connected to either, I want to say either, obviously there are more than two platforms, but we're talking about kind of the two big ones here. Those platforms have their own designations for naming conventions and when that thing, what it does, right? Inside of that naming convention, the way it behaves. So manufacturers are, I don't want to say handcuffed, that's not really a fair word, but you're put into a box when designing these things a little bit, that it has to behave a certain way and has to do a certain thing to meet a certain, standard and certification. So on our end, it's just our job to know kind of what those things are, what the differences are, and kind of how they behave differently, because in different environments, you're going to get different results, from the hardware, presumably.
Exactly. Now, one great thing about this is that, if you guys could put on my that first view where the camera's kind of zoomed all the way out, one of the big things I want to let you know is that, we've been kind of taking pride in audio lately with this video bars and all of our audio equipment. If you notice, this room is not acoustically treated. There's definitely a lot of reverberation in it. But the great thing about it is that, it has a lot of good automatic gain control, noise cancellation. And so if I just go around and I start walking around and I start talking, you'll notice that my levels of the audio are actually being, pretty dang good. If I turn on this air purifier and bring up the speed on it, the white noise that's going to generate actually gets canceled out. So we have a lot of the edge processing for the voice, for not only the voice, but the video. But that's kind of what we're doing, especially when you go into BYOD mode. And so, great product. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the automatic framing right now. This is where I like it a little bit more, because what it does with the automatic framing, is that it does use the mechanical pen tilt zoom to be able to zoom in on me and get going. But all in all, guys, that's pretty much the demo for it. It's a really simple device. Zoom room's preloaded. Plug it in. Compute and everything is within it. Come check us out at the booth, and I'll be able to give you a little bit more of a technical rundown if you guys need it.
Yeah, everybody is looking for it here and now, Carl. I've got a slew of questions, and there's some really great ones in here. We were just talking about the audio pickup, and Aziz had asked, what's the maximum pickup distance? I should say, what's the maximum supported pickup distance of the microphones? That's a great question.
I think the official is about 40 feet. I've done demonstrations at 50 feet with no problem at all. And that's with our VB350 as well. I mean, that device is, we've been kind of fine tuning them for medium to large conference rooms.
That is quite the pickup range, man. You're not kidding about large conference rooms. Brian wants to know if you guys have any wireless connectivity, or would you, I know there's wireless casting connectivity built into both of the most of the major platforms, right? So a lot of manufacturers may just defer to that for wireless casting, but some do have hardware features built in. So any plans for that, or are you deferring to the platform for that functionality?
Right now, we're deferring to the platform for screen sharing and wireless casting there. But to be able to plug in this device to like a BYOD wireless screen share type thing, we should be able to give you a sneak peek at something that we're going to kind of show off a little bit later on towards the year.
All right.
But again, like having devices like this, for BYOD mode and stuff like that, all the great partners that we have with like Barco and everybody else should work.
Awesome. Carl, you said sneak peek, and those are like two of my favorite words. So be careful, because I'm going to ask. It's like taking me to the Wizard of Oz, man. I'm going to ask to see behind the curtain and see everything. I have a couple more questions on this topic, and then I swear, I know we got to get to Katie. There's a new camera to take a look at, which I'm stoked about. Let's just knock these out real quick. I've got two more great questions. Amos had asked, you mentioned the touch panel, right? Yeah. My guy Amos, I believe, is in South Dakota. Shout out for joining us. Is the touch screen, the console there, is that IP a connection? Is it a network connection? Is it a USB connection with an extender? What do you got there?
So got a single Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable for PoE plus and data, and pretty much that's all you need to be able to get it connected up. So this can work as a scheduler as well. We've got the wall mounts for it. 10-inch antimicrobial screen. It's got the LED indicators on there, and if you notice on the screen share earlier, it's got a microphone and the ultrasonic speakers for that wireless sharing.
You guys are ticking a lot of boxes. You mentioned the mounting kit, and Nick wanted to know, is the mounting kit included? Is it additional hardware to be purchased? What's the story with the mounting kit?
The mounting kit, so what comes inside of the BB370 is, you would get the video bar, you would get a remote control to use for it for initial configuration if you guys want to use that, or for BYOD mode if you guys don't want to use a controller. The controller and the video bar are separate. We have a bundle package, which is pretty much just buying both of them separate. But if people already have a controller, they just want to replace out the appliance, they can. And generally with the appliance, it does come with a wall mount. If you wanted to get a TV Visa mount, you can buy an optional kit for that attaches to the wall mount. But the wall mount for the this controller comes with little feet on it to be able to give like a little different angle if you will. But to buy that as a scheduler for a wall mount, that is a separate accessory.
Okay, good to know. And honestly, I love that we have the screen share up. I mentioned this in the beginning, and I talk about it all the time. Seeing you guys use the products, the solutions, and the resources available. AVer's website has a ton of great information. I get questions all the time about, does this come with X or Y, or what's the story? Carl pulled up the website, scrolled right to the product page, and it'll tell you a lot of information there and give you links to other resources. So if you're wondering about this stuff for yourself or other products, other AVer solutions, go check out the website. That's the tip right there. Carl, I swear this is the last one, because this question came to mind when we were talking here. You mentioned BYOD mode with the bar, and this is kind of important designation thing to call out. Are you talking about BYOD mode only? BYOD take over, like maybe from a Zoom room where then I bring in my laptop and I need to do a Teams room? Or are you talking about both things? Is the bar capable of both things, one or the other?
Yeah, so essentially it's a kind of a mode in conjunction with Zoom. So you plug in the USB cable. So if I plug in my USB cable, you would need an HDMI ingest as well. So you have to plug in HDMI as well. But then on the Zoom Room screen, it'll say BYOD mode. We noticed that you connected up your USB cable. So once you click on that, it gives you a simple interface of camera controls and turning things on and off.
Awesome. So you're talking BYOD takeover, and BYOD mode in itself is kind of implied.
Yep.
So we're talking about both things. Awesome. I appreciate the clarification, Carl. Awesome demo. I'm trying to keep an eye on questions at the same time because they do keep rolling in. Donald had asked about BYOD mode. So the USB cable in your hand that we talked about, is that a USB-C cable?
Yes.
Okay, but it doesn't carry video, so you also need an HDMI ingest.
That's correct.
Got it. Awesome. Great question, Donald. Appreciate you guys coming with that. Nick, everybody, fantastic questions. Are we kicking over to Katie now to talk about the new camera, or where are we at?
I think I am. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing.
Yeah, I will get my PowerPoint back up here. And you guys see me okay here?
Oh, yeah. What's coming up? It's coming up right now.
Okay.
Let me get my 4 up. Okay. Katie, that's a big act to follow. I'm not trying to put any pressure on you.
I am going to try my best. Just as a bit of a premature apology, I am very new to the Pro AV space in these products. So I'm going to try. I love all the technical questions. I got my specs up and I'm going to try my best to be ready. But if I don't know the answer to your question, I will certainly rabbit chase and hunt it down. Especially
we can follow up and find out.
Absolutely. So I'm excited to show you our new broadcast camera and our bring your own meeting experience. But let's start here. Let's start with a very exciting foray for AVer. It's the TR615 broadcast camera. What I love about this camera is it takes all the things that, if AVer is excellent at, right? It takes our auto tracking. It takes our wonderful high quality hardware, and then it just brings it up to the next level for this very, very high quality broadcast level camera. James, if you could go ahead and go to the next slide. So this is really just like a Cadillac solution. If you're looking to do more streaming kind of work, broadcast level quality, both in terms of audio and video. So this is a camera that we designed for professional broadcasting applications. Spec wise, you're going to have a 19-time optical zoom, 4K with 60 FPS. And then of course, if you haven't had a chance to see the AI tracking on one of our cameras, I highly recommend you come by our booth and take a look, because what I think AVer does great is, a lot of people are going to slap on AI. They're going to say it tracks, and they'll have a demo reel video that looks fine. But when you get down to actually using it in a real world scenario, it thinks like a computer. It thinks like something is programmed. I am continually impressed with the ability for our cameras to be intuitive and thoughtful and automatic in the way that they track, which in a broadcast scenario is just so important. But the specs on this are incredible. I believe this is our first camera with a 1-inch image sensor. For those of you who don't know, that's going to get you really high. Look at Joe, just so excited.
I'm holding back so much right now. I'm stoked about it. You can keep going, but I'm out of control excited.
He knows, the man knows. So this means you're going to have great image quality. You're going to have sharper details. It's going to be really good for low light. It's going to reduce that noise. It's going to have higher dynamic range. So shadows, highlights, all that kind of refined, like just a better refined experience. All our cameras are great. We've got a camera for every room, but this is a camera if you really want that high quality picture perfect experience. It's also going to have dual 12G SCI output. You take a look at some of the ports back there. You'll see that we also there's tons of flexibility here for whatever your broadcast scenario might be. We've also included Genlock, which is for better synchronization, really important in that broadcast environment. And probably the best part, we're targeting our MSRP for $7,499 on this. So with all these features and specs, this is a very high value product. And that's one thing AVer always wants to deliver to you, is that we're going to give you a really high value product for the price point we have. Sorry, I've rendered Joe speechless.
Yeah, I'm just first of all, 1-inch sensor. That's incredible. I use the camera that am using here right now. Maybe not the best lighting scenario for sure in my hotel room, but it's a big Sony mirrorless camera, and it's with the lens and everything, like it was several $1,000s, and that's what was needed really to get a full size sensor. So a 1-inch sensor coming on a PCZ camera, like. And, I'm excited to see how it performs. I will certainly be coming by the booth. And Katie, I just want to reiterate, I can't say it enough. Folks who have listened to me are probably tired of me saying this, but like, there's a lot of great tracking cameras out there. There just is. It's a saturated and competitive market. And if you've heard me before, I'm sorry, you got to hear me repeat it. Like AVer's is my favorite tracking. The tracking functionality built within the AVer ecosystem is unrivaled in my opinion, and works very well. And I was having this conversation with David Boyle, one of the Microsoft, one of the guys who runs the Hive over at Microsoft in their test lab. And we were talking about, I really don't want to disparage any other names because that's not what this is about. But we were talking about very expensive tracking systems from the biggest brand names. And at the end of the conversation, we were both talking about how AVer's tracking is really both of our favorites, just in terms of the way it performs and the flexibility that it gives you. So if y'all haven't tried like one of the TR series cameras from AVer, give your sales rep a call from Midwich. Let us go ahead and hit you with try to like a demo or something like that. And I promise you will be impressed for sure. Definitely not disappointed. So, Katie, we have one question. I see your deck, the slide here. I want to get it up on the screen if I can, but the hotel setup, I'm struggling. Aaron had a great question. You've got a lot of outputs on there, and Aaron wants to know if all those outputs are simultaneously active, or does one kill the other, or kind of how does that functionality work?
That is a great question. I knew I was going to get something for this. I think, but don't quote me on that. That's something, let me go ahead and confirm that later just to be sure. But I do see that we have multi-stream capability listed here in the specs. So I feel like the answer to that is yes. I just don't want to tell you wrong.
Yeah, I appreciate that sentiment. Aaron, I will make a note. I already have your contact info, buddy. I'll reach out when we get some confirmation of it. I know on some of the other cameras that all the outputs are simultaneously active. So I'd be surprised if that's not the case here, but certainly we want to give out accurate information. So let's go with yes, we think so, but we're going to follow up and confirm with you. Awesome. Katie, you can, I didn't mean to jump in. You said so many good things.
I appreciate the enthusiasm. We can go ahead and keep moving forward so I can go into a little more detail on other parts though.
Yeah, let me move over here. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so just going into a bit more detail on some of these features. Obviously, you're going to get that 4K 60 FPS, 19 times optical quality zoom. So you've got those core features of a camera. The 1-inch sensor, which Joe was very excited to see. Again, that's going to allow for that refinement of the image, the refinement of the streaming. We increased our AI compute by 3 times in this. So, and Joe has already said all of our other tracking cameras are great. Imagine how high quality of an image, how high quality of an experience that you can get when now you have a better specs, better sensors, and more AI computational power in order that are built into this camera. And so and again, seeing is believing. I'm so sorry because this is a new product. I can't demo it for you right now. I don't actually have one in my home. I would happily show it to you, but it is really impressive how AI can focus, how I can intuit, how it is precise and almost thoughtful in the way that it works. So please stop by our booth if you want to see this one in action. Hey, the question is actually on the slide, is answered here. I forgive my nervousness. I just don't want to misquote you. But yes, we have simultaneous streams for various interfaces as listed here. And the broadcast features NDI, HX3, XLR-IO, FreeD, and Genlock technology. So yeah, this is a powerful, impressive camera with that will serve a lot of broadcast needs.
It's a beast, literally. Yeah. Donald had a question about the weight of the camera and literally said, "What is the weight of this beast?" And that was the first word that came to my mind too. Like, what a powerhouse of a camera. I don't know if you have a spec. You said you have a spec sheet in front of you.
I do. Net weight is 4.3 kilograms.
Oh, that's not bad at all for the size of that thing. Donald had another great question, and this, I don't know. Let me get into this one. In terms of I had a typo, my bad. In terms of the AI framing, is that like based on facial recognition? Is it Is it looking for like, outlines of a human body? Can anybody
I'm pretty sure what this
elaborate on
is,
that?
head, neck, shoulders is the way that it works. So it's not
Okay.
quite at facial recognition yet, though, truth be told, that's the place where me as a PM is very interested in.
Yes.
But yeah, it does head, shoulders, neck as a way of noting where that is. And then there's also features that you can add in if you want to put in some framing, if there are areas that you don't want to be detected. There's also some limits that you can put in when you might want it to stop detecting. After a while, you want it to stop tracking. So there's lots of flexibility and options with how you might want to pursue it. But that's the way I believe that's how that's tracked.
Yeah.
I mean, normally, Joe, it's and I don't know specifically too, because this is so darn new. Like, this is brand new. We actually are getting them shipped into InfoComm from Taiwan. Like, we have like, I think, one in the US. Normally our tracking is, like Katie said, it's like half body. It's also typically full body. I think this camera is going to be the same as the other TR series cameras with the tracking. So usually it's like half body or full body. It's not facial recognition right now, which actually is usually better because in case the person's wearing a mask or there's something else going on. That's typically how the tracking kind of works. So you have that option of the half body if they're just kind of like moving around behind something, or they're walking on a stage or walking in a studio. Full body can also be used typically.
That's awesome. And the back half of Donald's question on that I did not get up on the screen was, are there parameters to kind of adjust those things? Katie, you touched on it. There very much are some parameters to adjust how the tracking and the recognition works and operates so that it functions the way you want it to. I just want to add to, having got a peek at some roadmaps and things like that with Microsoft, this does the tracking and the facial recognition and the human body recognition in a UC space in particular does kind of get it back into the conversation of hardware functionality versus platform functionality. I know in the case of like all the AI features that have been coming to, Microsoft Teams and Zoom Rooms and that are coming, especially like when it comes to facial recognition and tying, an identity to facial recognition. Like a lot of that is functionality that's built into the platform and not necessarily built into the hardware, but the AI tracking in the hardware, we're talking about using human shape recognition basically to do that in a couple of different forms. So we will definitely be doing some videos from the booth on this camera because I'm excited. Somebody calm me down, you guys.
So let's go ahead and keep going. We got more to share. We got more to share with you. So moving on from the TR65, also want to share with you two new offerings, the Hub 30 and the Hub 35. They're largely the same device for USB HDMI switching. Just one is meant for a small to medium room and one is meant for a medium to large room. Obviously, they're going to be at different price points, have more inputs, outputs, just depending on the size of your room. But they're all going to have that USB-C power delivery. They're all going to allow for dual screen. They're all going to allow for wireless LAN. They have touch panel. They're going to allow for peripheral control and also Connect AI, which I'm going to go into some more scenarios like, Katie, what's Connect AI? What's that all about? I'm going to go into more. I think we all know what these switchers can do, what these hubs can do, and how we can use them. What I want to show you is what the AVer difference is going to be and why you should choose AVer above maybe some other kind of hub. So if we could go on to the next slide. Just before we do that, though, wanted to give you a closer look. I know there's probably some gearheads in the room, so I wanted to give you a closer look on what these ports look like, what would be available for both the Hub 30 and the Hub 35. If you want to look at this more specifically, want to see some more specs, certainly we can get that for you if you just want to make sure that this is going to fit for a solution for you. But you'll see USB-C, USB-A, Ethernet, PoE, HDMI, and again, depending on what size you have, there will be a few more tacked on there. Let's go ahead and go on to that next slide so we can talk about Connect AI. Right, so here's where the money is, folks, and this is what you get with AVer that you're not necessarily going to get from another hub. So here are a couple of scenarios that we have. Let's say you have a setup where you have one camera in the front rather, and one camera in the rear. And you'll notice what what Connect AI is automatically going to do is smart frame and compose all the people who are in this room using these two cameras. But let's say the scenario changes. If we go on to the next slide and someone a presenter walks to the front to start talking, then it's going to switch. And again, all this is done automatically. You don't have to set anything up to that rear cam and start tracking that person and focusing on that person and then doing a picture of the rest of the room. So Connect AI is just going to do that for you, and it's already built in. The camera is already set up. But that's not the only scenario. This next one I actually think is very cool. I really like it. If we could go on to the next slide. So let's say we have a setup where we have cameras on each side, and here's a situation where we're all in a room, people are framed up, and no one has, like, everyone's just sitting listening, no one has raised their hand. Once again, we have that smart framing, that smart composition of all the people who are detected. But now let's move on to scenario. We have Kiki in here, and she's going to raise her hand. If we look on the next slide, when that happens, it's going to frame that person who's raising their hand and then focus in on her when she goes to speak. And then you'll notice there is a picture-in-picture layout of where the rest of the room is. It can also have, I believe I have a picture of this on the next slide. I can't quite remember if it's in here.
No.
No. Oh, well, okay. So this is also one where if two people raise their hands, then it's going to smart frame those two people in two different frames. So we know, like Joe said, there's a lot of cameras out there. There's a lot of options you can choose. What you get from AVer is just, again, this incredible value, right? High quality features, high quality add-ons, and a really high quality intuitive experience that's going to help you achieve what you're trying to achieve in your meeting rooms. So yeah, I'm really excited. I hope that if you have a chance, you can come see it in action. Seeing is believing, and I hope you can visit our booth at InfoComm.
I will for sure be visiting. As you know, Katie, we got one more question from Donald. Had a great question. Asking specifically, I believe we're talking about the TR-615 here. And Donald wanted to know, I'm going to assume the answer is yes, but we don't like to assume things here. Does the 615 work with the PTZ Link software?
Yes.
And I assume then, again, assumptions are not cool, that the MT300 is also on board with that, yeah?
Yes, I believe that's correct as well.
All right, I love it. I'm not kidding you guys. If you were an internet joiner for the boot camp, the Converged Communications boot camp with Microsoft, there was a whole video crew there. I'm not being hyperbolic when I say there was like 6 or 7 people running cameras, and I started chatting with them about the MT300 because they literally could have reduced that crew to, like, I don't want to, 6 or 7 down to 1. I mean, they probably could reduce that crew to 1 or 2 people, if that, with an MT300 and the TR series tracking cameras in that room. So I'm excited to see the 615 in person for sure. And I'm just preaching out here. If you haven't seen the MT300 in action, we've got some. I know I've made Carl do many videos and Teams calls and Zoom calls to talk about it. So definitely get with your rep to check it out. It's the bee's knees, as the kids say. Folks, if you've got any more questions, we've got a couple 5-10 minutes left here. Please do go ahead and drop them in the chat. James, I think we've got, is there 1 or 2 more slides, or are we into question world now?
Yeah, we're just about done, Joe. I think thanks everybody. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, everybody here, for your time. If you don't know who your rep is yet, I just thought we'd share this once again. And you can get this information, this map, off our website. So you go to partner resources on our website. You can pull this down. If you guys have access to our new partner portal, you can also get that here. But we'll happily send it to you guys if you need access to this. And finally, though, if you'd like to meet and book a meeting with us or tour at InfoComm, Katie and Carl are going to be there, among others, and we'd love to see you guys. So you can just reach us. If you know our email, great. The individual person, you can email us, but the general email that everybody gets on the video conferencing Pro AV team is vcpartnerteam@aver.com. Everybody will get that note, and you can arrange a meeting with us. We'd love to have you at the booth. I think that's it. Yeah, we're at questions wrap up now, so perfect timing.
We're in questions world. Carl, this is my bad. We had your kind of feed set to the wrong one. So I'm going to pull up one of the wider shots, but Carl's in a blank screen because we had his feed on the second camera. So Carl, if you want to join us, you can flip on that extra one. But I appreciate you, brother. We do have a couple more questions.
Yeah, so I think that's the Cam 550 that you're showing right there.
Yes. There you go. Then that's the second one that's plugged into the bar.
Yeah, that's the second one plugged into the bar right there.
Yes. I don't even know where to start with all these questions. There's like too many of them. Brian had an easy one and wants to know when the new bar is hitting the streets. Let's start with that.
Oh, the bar's available now. It's been shipping for the past month.
Look at that, Brian. You can buy one today, man. Go ahead and hit up our team. We got one for you. We can get you a quote, no problem. Amos, this is a good question. Can we jump back to the slides with the Hub 30 and the Hub 35 for a second?
Yeah. Which one?
Amos, yeah, there you go. I think this one right here will kind of get us into the world. Are these specifically designed for AVer camera extension, right? They're not really third-party compatible. Amos was asking, he's wanting to know if the MTR room control is available utilizing the hubs. I'm not sure if we know that answer yet.
What was that question again?
Is MTR room control available for the Hub 30 and Hub 35? So I think the question is, will it work in a system utilizing the extensors?
Yeah, I think it's answered here.
Peripheral control.
You can use the touch pen. You can use the CP10 G2, not included as the touch panel.
Got it. I appreciate that. Donald wanted to know if there's the ability to turn tracking on and off with the IR remote.
With the IR remote, yes.
Yep. Okay, cool. Pat had a good one. Patrick, this is unrelated to the gear we were talking about, but this is a question I love to ask and get answered. We talked about where all y'all are from, but can somebody just let us, where's AVer headquartered here?
Oh, well, actually, Carl is in the headquarters. We're in Fremont, California. He's the only one there. Katie and I and Suzanne we're on different locations, but we're our worldwide headquarters is in Taiwan, of course, and our U.S. headquarters for the Americas is in Fremont.
Fremont, California. I love it. I context helps me, right? I love to know where everybody is, where they're located.
Yeah.
Where they're joining us from, and when we're reaching out to folks' time zones, right?
It's helpful to be in Taiwan too, because you guys know with tariffs and stuff, as well as our, we're NDAA TA compliant as well. So if you have any of those contracts for the government, we're one of those friendly countries. So we're good
call
there.
out. Yeah, I love it. You guys, we've reached the end of the questions. We're at the end of the hour here. I just want to say thank you to all of you. I know Suzanne had to leave us for another call, but I just want to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to join us. Any last call outs? Anything anybody wants to offer? No pressure. Come visit at InfoComm is what that sounds like to me.
Yep.
Yeah, booth 3181. Come see us.
And I'm getting a hard time because I don't have a mic stand. It's because I'm in a hotel. I had to go with the travel setup, so I promise on the regular show I usually do have a stand. AVer team, thank you so much. James, Katie, Carl, you guys are the best. I can't wait to see you guys at InfoComm. We appreciate all the info today. Thank you for joining us. That is going to lead us, you guys, into the big gift card giveaway. And I keep telling you, I'm going to get like some drum roll, sound effect, something or another. And life is busy, you guys. So it's kind of low on the list, but we're going to be working on it. I promise. I am rolling through it right now. And the gift card winner is Aziz. Shout out. Thank you for joining us. We will reach out with you after this to get the correct information, everything to get that out to you. So thanks, Aziz, and everybody for joining us, your time. You guys, I don't take it lightly. I appreciate your time and attention. And please go ahead, check out our website and join us next time on the AV Exchange, and we will see you then.